self-confidence, self-esteem. But what is all that for? What is your life about? All right. Um, because the sole purpose of life is to find a purpose. The old saying, we have two lives. All right. And the second one begins the day we realize that we only have one. But when do we actually realize that we only have one day? One life, sorry. When do we actually realize that we only have one life? It usually happens when we have identified our purpose and we realize that we have a finite amount of time to pursue said purpose, right? And until then, you're just kind of going through life, And the crazy thing about having and finding your purpose um, is that it puts everything in your life in perspective. All right. Once you actually find your purpose and you start living, as I said, on purpose, right? Even the roughest and the hardest of times will make sense to you because those things you'll realize has shaped you, have molded you into who you are. You won't live with regrets. You won't be able to be depressed about your life because you realize that all those things were necessary. That's what happens when you find your purpose. Because you realize at that point that you were uniquely gifted, uniquely tested, uniquely put on earth for a particular purpose. And had you not gone through those things, you may not have discovered your purpose. So even I look at myself, I look at the times that I've had. I always reference the fact of my losing my mother to cancer. Had I not lost my mother to cancer, maybe I don't discover what I'm doing now. All right. And so, yes, it's unfortunate that I lost my mother, but I also believe it's necessary. So I don't look at it as something to be sad about. I look at it as something that was a necessary thing to happen in order to kind of shape me and mold me and push me in a particular direction where I could find that purpose. All right. Where I could find that direction in life, if you will. All right. And our lives, life is funny. And nothing in life is inherently good or bad. Everything has, people say everything has a reason, but everything can be useful. I don't think everything has a reason, but everything can be useful. Everything can be used for your benefit, good and or bad. All right. Especially the bad, it can be used for a benefit. All right. But you have to prioritize your life. You have to prioritize your goals. You have to prioritize the things that you deem necessary and mandatory in your life. I always tell people you have to have a list of gotta do's. All right? Prioritize. Because if you don't prioritize the things that are important to you, guess what? You wind up doing a bunch of unimportant stuff all the time. Stuff that doesn't move the needle, if you will. All right, and like I told you so much, I told you guys, life is simple. We complicate our lives, all right? And my formula for life is very simple. The things that matter, and by things, I mean the people, the events, the things that move the needle, the things that matter and the things that do not matter. And you'll find that when you're actually honest with yourself in life, right, there are a lot of things that we love, a lot of people we love, a lot of things and activities we love doing that just don't matter. All right. There's a lot of people, friends, family in our lives that in the grand scheme of things, they just don't matter when it boils down to what it is that your purpose is. It just doesn't matter. All right. So anytime that you allot in addition on that is technically wasted. Now, do we waste some time in life? Of course, but we have to be very mindful and very prudent, okay, about the time we waste on things, people, situations, thoughts, activities that just do not matter. All right? Now here goes the things that do matter. All right? Now here's the humbling part about life. There's a lot of things that do matter that you have absolutely no control over. Once again, applying time, energy, focus to those things is wasted. So then it boils down now to the things that do matter and that you can control. And you look at those things and you prioritize those things with in reference to what your goal, what your purpose, what your desires are in life. And you'll find you'll have a whole lot of time to focus on the things that matter, to pursue your purpose, to live as, like I always say, live intentionally. A lot of people just live. Okay? People that know me know I'm a very intentional person. All right? I'm a very focused person. I'm very deliberate. I'm deliberate with my words. I'm deliberate with my thoughts. I'm deliberate with everything that I do. Everything that I do, I have a reason. Now, there's a reason why I'm like that, because I always tell this story. When I was a kid, my dad, he never got mad at me for doing anything wrong. And people are like, what? What kind of parent is that? But whatever I did that was wrong or questionable, if he found out about it, I had to give him a detailed explanation of what I was thinking, what I was hoping the outcome was going to be, right? I had to give him that, and I had to prove to him that I thought about it, all right? And I did it intentionally. Well, as a child, you know what that does, right? That makes you actually think about everything you do. It makes you think about everything you say. It makes you calculate. You know, I always tell people one of the greatest maths, the best maths you can learn as a man, right, is the future cost of current decisions. You learn that when you are intentional. You must be intentional in order to practice that. The future cost of current decisions. Everything you do has a cost. Calculate that cost with interest before you make decisions, before you open your mouth, before you move left and or right. You have to be intentional, all right? You have to stay present. So many people spend their lives in the past, the future. Your life is happening today, right now in front of you. Are you present? I see so many people who they even go out with people, right? And they're not even there. They're in their phones, they're doing this, they're doing that. They never really soak up life, all right? But that's what happens when you learn how to live intentionally. You learn to soak up life. You learn to be in the moment, right? There's so many great things that are happening in the moment in your life, and you will miss those things being stuck in your past or anxious about your future. Be in the moment, be present, all right? And when you start prioritizing your goals, when you start living intentionally, when you start staying present in the moment, you will realize that it will require you at times to expand into areas that are uncomfortable for you, because your growth, your purpose, who you want to become requires that. You cannot stay the same, okay? We cannot be the ones that we want to be if we stay exactly who we are. It requires us to actually grow, and growth means expansion. Expansion expansion all the time means going outside of who you are, spreading out into things you've never done, talking to people who you've never talked to, associating sometimes with people you may not necessarily agree with, but is necessary for growth, having conversations that are uncomfortable. Okay? We have to get out of that comfort zone, because really it's not really even that comfortable. Okay? It's not. And with so much being tossed at us on a daily basis, right, it is incredibly important to learn how to detox and declutter your life. There's a lot of things and people and activities in your life that are just junk, clutter. They bring no value. I'll tell you, one of the greatest things I did was when I moved down to Florida, to Miami, all right? It allowed me to declutter. Not only declutter from physical things, because I came down here with nothing. I only bought what I wanted to have at that point, okay? None of the old stuff. I think I bought 2 chairs with me that I've had, and I don't even know why I keep those chairs, but I've had them for a while. I like them, and I keep those. Besides that, I basically became a minimalist. Everything I had have had to be justified. Why do I need that? Do I need that? If I don't need it, then I'm not taking it. And I found that I didn't have to take much. When I buy stuff, why do I need that? Why do I need that? Do I need it? Is it necessary? How much am I really going to use that? How does that benefit me? How does this association benefit me? What have you brought to me? What do you add to me? All right? Because when you're on purpose, when you're living intentionally, every single association, everything has to add to you. Even if it's just casual friends, right? Sometimes people have good energy. You love their energy. You know what? And just being around them adds to your good mood, right? Then that's okay. All right? But if something doesn't add, but it only takes time, takes money, takes energy, declutter. All right? Declutter. And that's, once again, that's people. That's activities. That's thoughts. People don't even understand how great it is when you're on purpose to just sit at home, just quiet, and get wrapped up in your thoughts. All right? So, let me see. I missed something. What I said. Exactly. You have to be the energy you want to receive. All right? But the only way to be that energy is you have to be around that kind of energy. Energy is contagious, negative and positive alike. Okay? If you surround yourself with people that have good, positive energy, even if it's for a short period of time, guess what? It boosts your energy. All right? You spend too much time around people that have negative energy. It's not good. So you have to declutter. All right? So we talk about living on purpose. Well, how do we do that? Right? Because living on purpose, people look at the big picture. But I always tell people, you don't get goals. You don't hit goals. You don't hit results. You don't get results by focusing on the results. You get results by focusing on the things you have to do on a daily basis. You want to live on purpose? There's little things you have to do. We talked about that yesterday. You got to have some habits. Okay? People who live intentionally have intentional habits. You ain't just winging it. All right? And one of the best intentional habits to have is the habit of taking care of your health, mental and physical. Wake up in the morning, drink some water. Cleanse, detoxify your system. All right? Before you start putting in all kinds of junk from the outside world, clear your mind. Some people will say, well, you know what? They pray. All right? You can meditate, stretch, just some quiet. Sit in your thoughts for a while. All right? Get organized. I know a lot of people who are, people don't understand, like military people, they make their bed every day. It's a mental task to make your bed, to organize your life, to put things in their place. People don't understand. Like with me, I like things in a certain place. All right? In my dishwasher, I like the knives in a particular hole, the forks in a particular hole. Not because it makes a difference, but it makes a difference. I don't know if people understand that. Not because it makes a difference, but it makes a difference. It's a symbol of organization. It's a symbol of things being in their place. It's a symbol of my mindset. Not to be all over the place. All right? Organization. All right, clean up around you. Clear your mind. It's amazing, one of the hallmarks of people who unfortunately are depressed, you go around them, you see a lot of junk and clutter, right? Those things don't agree with the human mind. Junk, clutter, disorganization. Those things are a sign of distress. Okay, that's not to say that everyone who's organized and clean does not have distress, because that could also be a sign of, some kind of obsessive compulsive. But more so as a time, more than not, it's a sign of organization, clear thought, things in their place. And sometimes when things are not in their place, that's one of the few things you can control is your surroundings. Clean it up. All right, clean it up. I like the activity of waking up in the morning and sweeping my floors. Not that I can't afford a vacuum cleaner. Not that I can't afford one of those automatic things. I just like the activity of physically sweeping my floors. Organization. Habit. All right? But all those things add to your purpose. When you eat, right? Eat for fuel, eat for nourishment, eat food that makes you feel alive, not makes you feel lethargic. That's why I start my day every day with fruit and water, things that actually give me energy, things that build my vibrance. A lot of people eat so they can just, if you're eating and you're listless when you eat, how are you gonna pursue your purpose? How can you be intentional? How can you be on task? You can't. All right? All these little things, even something just like very simple like this, right? I always talk about music. Music is great. But listen to the type of music that reflects the life that you're hoping for. All right? The type of life that you're hoping for. If you're listening to music, make sure you're very mindful of the lyrics. Those lyrics put you in a certain subconscious state. And it can put you in a self-conscious state of building, of seeing the beauty of life, or it can put you in a destructive state where you're consistently all the time antagonistic towards everything in the world. Everyone's against me. I'm watching out for all my haters. And then you look at the people's lives who listen to that kind of stuff, and they always have this perpetual amount of negativity in their life. Make sure when you're listening to music, listen to music that makes you feel good. Okay? That puts you in the mindset and the place, the space that you really want to be in. All right? Music is a very good thing to help you get on purpose. All right? Yes, it is. Surround yourself with beautiful things. All right? Even if you can't afford beautiful things, surround yourself where you can, see the beauty of nature, some trees, some plants. One of the reasons why I love where I live is because, I love my beautiful view. I wake up every day and I'm very thankful for the view I have. All right? Beauty. Beauty enhances your life. And sometimes beauty can just be, it can be tranquil. Like I said, it allows you to be in the present, to actually sit down and like I said, just appreciate life. All right? Appreciate life. I always say clean around you. Make sure you have, clean surroundings, because those things help. And last but not least, we talk about the things we say to ourselves all the time. Make sure you speak positive words to yourself, good affirmations about who you are, who you want to be, where you want to go. We talk about believing in yourself. You have to reinforce that, just like you brush your teeth every day. You have to reinforce that belief. All right? Know that you're better than where you are right now. And actively, every single day, show yourself acts of love, moving yourself towards your purpose, on purpose, intentionally, focused, undistracted in that direction that best suits you. But it comes down to being, once again, intentional about your purpose. It's not just going to happen. It's not just going to be one of those things you're going to wake up one day and be like, oh, well, I think I want to do this. No, you have to be certain of it. And your purpose, once again, your purpose, like goals, it's like it gives you something to focus on. Does that mean that it's going to be that way, that you're going to be stuck on that one thing for the rest of your life? No. But you have to be very mindful if you don't have a purpose. Imagine waking up and you basically ain't got nothing to do. Right? Nothing. But that's a lot of people's lives. They don't have anything to do, so they're open to any suggestion that anyone has about what they should do with their life. Everything sounds good. All right? You wake up, you get in your car, which way you're going to go. Oh, let's go north. All right, you going north. But when you have purpose, you have direction, you have an idea of where you want to go. It makes you have a certain amount of peace within yourself because you're moving towards a defined goal. If you don't have that, you're wandering. And don't get me wrong, some people say wandering is good, all right? But it doesn't really work out that well for a lot of people because meandering becomes a habit, okay? And sometimes you can wander and find yourself, but odds are not. However, when you're living on purpose and you're living intentionally, you will find the things that that light your spirit. And yes, you might adjust things. You might change your focus. It happened to me. I changed my goals, right? Because I realized my goals that I had before were too small. But I would not have had that had I not had goals that moved me in a particular direction of getting better in the first place. Okay? What is your purpose? All right? Something to think about. What is your purpose? Let me see this. If I ask the question, how does this activity for you Back to the Future create? I don't know. I don't care. All right. So sometimes people ask some questions that are totally unrelated to what we're talking about. It's like, I don't get that, but oh well. I guess people wake up in the morning, they have a purpose, and they want to ask what they want to talk about. Well, that's not what we're doing here today. But anyway, it's just something to think about, guys. What is your purpose? And you have to prioritize it, okay? You have to prioritize it. You have to live intentionally. Everything you do, is it pro-goal or anti-goal? That's how life is. Life is black and white, all right? We create gray areas to make ourselves feel important, to make ourselves feel better, all right? But guess what? Black or white. Is this moving you towards a certain goal, right? Is this adding to me? Are you going to add to me? What are you going to add to me? Even if it's just a pleasant afternoon, right? That's fine. But it has to be something of value you bring, all right? And a lot of times in life too, people get stuck on big stuff. Live in the present, Live in the present. I always tell people you have to be grateful for the day. You have to be grateful for experiences. Some experiences don't last forever. In fact, no experience lasts forever. But if it's a good experience, guess what? It'll add to you. Take advantage of it. All right? Take advantage of it. I've met some great people. One of the best people I've met one time, was Chris Gardner, the guy who they made The Pursuit of Happiness about. And we spent a couple hours just talking, right? And yeah, we didn't work together. We didn't have a long, but guess what? Those hours, a few couple of hours, right, were priceless because it added so much. Sometimes you have to take advantage of those things, all right? You have to take advantage of those things. Take advantage of being around people that can add to you. Put a little feather in your hat, Because you may go down in life and realize some of those brief encounters, some of those brief conversations, some of those things were priceless. Okay? People always look at, it's only such and such time, and that's not that important. No, it is. It is. Somebody can add more to you in 3-4 hours than people who have been around you for 5 years. It depends on the depth of the conversation, the connection that you have, the energy that they bring. Always remember that. All right? Stay in the present. Sometimes you can't worry so much about what's going to happen in the future and all those things like that. Is it going to add value in the present? And yes, you always want to calculate the future cost of it. But sometimes, you know what? That present gift, that present nugget can grow exponentially because it can feed your soul energy. No one's promised tomorrow. Yes, we live in preparation for tomorrow, but no one is promised tomorrow. That's what happens to a lot of people. People always holding out for tomorrow, holding out for tomorrow. But you got to live today. Because today could be the last one, but you still live on purpose. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one, but it's very important to know that. You know, it's almost like I talk about my parents, you know, like my dad, you know. Imagine me living my life thinking, oh, my dad's going to be around my entire life, you know, and not really savoring the time that I had with him. And I did savor the time. I loved the conversations and everything. And then all of a sudden, it was gone. It's gone. Gone. Now I could walk around depressed that I didn't spend the time. I didn't take advantage of the times where I could sit there and talk with him, maybe if it was once in a while. Right? But I didn't do that because I took advantage of every single opportunity. And when the opportunity was gone, guess what? All those memories remain. No regrets. Didn't miss out on nothing. I got that opportunity. And yes, even though he's been dead now almost 40 years, those opportunities, those days, that time, fresh. Why? Because seeds were planted. And those seeds still grow. Those seeds grow in me. The lessons, the conversations, the laughs, the perspective, right? And as I get older, guess what? It's almost as I get older, it becomes fresher and fresher. It becomes better and better because those were some of the golden days. And I don't look back on it and regret. I wish it would have been longer. I wish I had more. No. Glad I had it. Right? And it helps me, it pushes me, and adds to my purpose. It helps me to understand that I need to live more intentionally, right? Be intentional about the things I do, the people I meet. Soak up the experience, because you're not guaranteed that it's going to happen again. As much as we would love to say, oh, we'll be friends for the rest of our lives, that is bullshit, because you don't know that. You see that person, you hug that person, you tell them how you feel, all right? You be intentional about it. Because neither one of you are guaranteed tomorrow. And you build in preparation, but with full understanding that tomorrow is not promised. So you better maximize today. Be present. Be on purpose. And get rid of anything and anyone that tries to dissuade, dilute, and doesn't bring value. All right? So that's the question you ask yourself. Are you living on purpose? What is your purpose? Because only when you're living on purpose can you bring your best into the world. Can you give your best to everyone around you? And as I always say, you know, God's greatest gift to you is your unlimited potential. And the only way to pursue and have and be on purpose and have and actually fulfill that unlimited potential is to live on purpose. Every single day. Be intentional about it. All right? Happy Thursday, guys. What's happening there? Millie Kyoto? Yes. And I made a mistake yesterday. I said Kyoto was from Australia. No, it's actually New Zealand, because that's where Millie lives in Australia, but she's actually from New Zealand. So my apologies. So it's Kyoto, and it is actually from New Zealand, not Australia. So I just want to make that very clear. What's happening there, Cheryl? Hey, Kelly Kell, what's going on? There you go. So see, you say, and Kelly said, I miss mine too. I don't miss my dad at all, because he's not gone. I carry him with me every day. See, it's a different perspective. All right? When you start doing the missing thing, right? Now you're going back. There's nothing to miss, because he's here. The experiences go with you. The lessons go with you. All right? Everything of value you can pack up and take with you. You leave the things behind who are not, that were not, that did not. But everything that added to you, it's you. Nothing amiss. You got that. All right? Every experience, every laugh, every lesson, every conversation. I didn't lose that. I have that. The only thing I left was the sadness of him leaving. And I replaced that with the gratitude that I had those times. Like I always say, that their coming build your gratitude and their leaving build your strength. I am grateful. Okay? Oh, he ain't leave me. I took him with me. I take him with me everywhere I go. My mother didn't leave me. I take her with me everywhere I go. I see her every single day in the things that I do. I chuckle sometimes about the things that I do. Why? Because she's standing right there looking at me telling me, hey, you probably don't want to do that. I hear my dad all the time, There's no such thing as wasted time, son. Do your best. All right? If you're going to do it right. All right, well, I guess I got to do this right. I didn't lose that. I have that. That's implanted in me. That's in my soul. Carry it with me every single day. And this is some of the things I do when I try to meet people. When I meet people, right? I have a motto in life. No matter who you are, even if it's a casual conversation, a casual friendship, right? I always try to leave you better than I met you. I leave you with something. Okay? Even if it's a thought, a word, an experience, a laugh, I leave you with something. I leave you with something that you can build with, that you can grow with. Whether it's a 5-minute, 5-month, 5-year encounter, right? I leave you with something. That is my goal. My goal is to plant, to enrich, to fertilize every single person that I meet. So even when I die, right? Because I will at some point in time, unless somebody's figured out something that I haven't figured out, even when I die, I know everything that I did in life continues to grow. Because when I plant something in you, you plant in someone else, and I live forever. The same way my dad, you guys don't know my dad, but my dad has been implanted in every single person that has listened to this live. So he lives. I live. And that's how we look at life. Okay? But the only way to do your best planting, your best fertilizing, is when you're living on purpose. So remember that.